All right, guys, I'm out here with William, and seemed like a real nice guy, man. Just ran into him, talked to him for a little bit, and we're here to get his story. William, how you doing today, man?
Oh, we're feeling the edge today a little bit.
Yeah,
Pardon me. Tell me your name again.
Daniel.
Daniel. Daniel. Feeling the edge a little bit today. Uh, Last night was probably the coldest night we've had in a long time, and being homeless, finding a warm place to be safe is very difficult.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a safety and numbers game, and unfortunately, in the safety and numbers game, you have a lot of people out there that don't have the same scruples, the same values that I have, and ended up losing another backpack, another bag of clothing, and toiletries, etc. So that probably means that I'm going to have to go out and shoplift today.
yeah.
And it's an unfortunate evil out here. I'm fortunate though. I'm 63 years old. I get SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Income. I get $1,732 a month,
Wow, that's great.
which out here is a lot of money.
Yeah,
To me, having come from upper middle class home. My father was a retired colonel in the Air Force. My mother was a master's in social work, MSW, PhD, psychologist, psychotherapist. And again, I'm from an upper middle class home. Both my parents obviously are educated. Educated was an option for me. It was offered to me, which I took. I became an NCAA wrestler.
you wrestled. Yeah,
I
I used to
wrestled
wrestle in
at
high school.
I wrestled at Oklahoma State University.
Wow,
And,
man.
I was very very competitive,
Hell yeah.
which is enriched in upper middle class families.
What years
We
did you
we have
wrestle?
a work ethic, and we value education, and so I took that as far as I could. Again, if you have a father that's in the colonel in the Air Force, you're probably going to get into athletics, and I was very competitive in athletics and very competitive, and that went into my personal life, um, starting, in school. Um, it was instilled in me that to try hard. You know, that's what we're put on this earth to do is to try and to be as good as we can be. And I don't want to be an army commercial, but um, I think it's very important that is, a value that is given to myself, and I think it should be given to, all children should have that, um, that value added edge of, being pushed, and being pushed causes a little bit of it causes pressure. Sometimes it can cause animosity, um, especially when your parents, who you look up to more than anybody, um, want you to do the best you can do.
Yep.
And
Yep.
when you fail your parents, when you fail yourself, it's to me it was the hardest thing in life for me to do, and I think I rebelled with that, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having this interview today, is to get into my drug history. When I did rebel, because oh, I had experienced probably more than 99.9% of my class in school, meaning that I got to travel. I got to see a lot of things. I wasn't spoiled. I had to work for everything I got, which I appreciate. And it's something my grandparents taught my parents to do. Again, my father was a colonel in the Air Force. He is from Montana stock. He grew up in the great Northwest in Helena, Montana. His father, John Robert Edwards Sr., my father was a junior, and my brother is a third, John Robert Edwards III. So it's one of those things that they, when you are given a name, that puts a lot of pressure on also.
Yep.
Fortunately, I was the second child and didn't have to live to that moniker. I was named after my mother's father, not my dad's dad. In any case, my dad's father grew up in Oakland, California, went to Antioch High School, was the youngest of 14 children. He had 13 sisters. And they were also Mormon, and very athletic and very educated. My grandfather was the highest recruited athlete in the country in 1926. He took an athletic scholarship at University of Southern California in Los Angeles for football and track and field. And back in those days, it was a little different than what we historically go through today. My grandfather was valedictorian of his class, but he was also 22 in high school, which is usually an age that you conquer when you're in college. Again, he went to Antioch High School in Oakland. He went to USC, and obviously, I don't know whether it's obvious, but USC is a private school in California. It's probably the highest tier school outside of Stanford on the West Coast, and it's a private school. And private school education, especially back in 1926, 1927, was extremely valuable because we were coming out of we were going into a depression. But our country was still very young, and a college education was extremely important to succeed in the United States of America back then. And it is today. I think it's one of the most important things that we can accomplish.
Yeah.
And again, that gives us, a little bit of pressure, gives us a little bit of competition with the rest of our field in school. And I think why I'm saying this today is my grandfather didn't have to get into drugs. He didn't do drugs.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know whether that's entirely true, but being a Mormon, Mormons they don't do alcohol. They don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're allowed to do caffeine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So when did your do
yeah.
you,
So being being the youngest of 14, having 13 sisters, um, I'm sure there was an incredible amount of pressure on my grandfather. But he didn't do drugs.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know whether it's society or I don't know whether we're letting our children down. I don't think I had great parents. I had the best parents that you could possibly have. My parents didn't push religion. Honestly, they didn't push athletics. The one thing that they did push, again, was to try hard
Yeah.
and do your best.
Yeah.
And if you go through a day and you feel that you did your very best or close to it, you've had a damn good day.
Yep. Yep. So
And
what are you battling with today? Like alcohol, any substances?
I, yeah, I'm 63. We're gonna have to put this in context a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, we go back, several years when I was younger. Um, I first started using drugs when I was 16 years old. Um, I was a sophomore in high school, and my best friend was my older brother.
Mhm.
I had one older brother, one sibling, and my best friend was my brother.
Yeah.
Um, and I know if I was 16, that makes my brother 18. He was a senior, I was a sophomore. That is basically where our drug scene begins. So I in today's today's society, 18 would be considered late bloomer in
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
we started out smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, um, doing high school parties in the Midwest in Kansas. And we were, my brother and I guess I became what my brother was because, he had such a huge influence upon me. But again, our parents got us into athletics. Uh, they wanted us to be A students. Um, there's many reasons for that. Uh, Main reason is higher education. But I think what I'm trying to say is that that's probably where the pressure began. That's where my drug career life began. And again, it sounds innocent, but marijuana and alcohol are gateway drugs to everything else that's out there.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to my brother and I. Probably 3 months into doing drugs, we started experimenting with pharmaceuticals. This would have been in the 70s,
Mhm.
late 70s. So my brother and I were doing Black Beauties, which is amphetamine speed, Quaaludes, or Ludes, Roar 714s, Lemon 714s was the name of the pharmaceutical company. They made you feel absolutely awesome. But yeah, alcohol and marijuana became our gateway to pharmaceuticals, LSD. Um, and then I think the biggest bridge back then was probably cocaine.
Okay.
And Cocaine was back in the late 70s was very expensive, and
It was
along
probably a
with
lot more pure back then too.
I'm sorry.
It was probably a lot more pure back then too. For the
I
most
would
part.
think so.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I would imagine, but
You know, my brother and I were both into the sciences pretty heavy. We both owned OHAS Scales. It's a company that manufactures scales, and you're right. We were in the science so much that we could take cocaine and tell you how pure it was.
Wow.
And we were getting cocaine as high as 80% pure.
Wow.
Which is very pure. Man. I mean, in today's standards, cocaine that strong, if you did a fair enough line, you'd probably get a bloody nose.
Wow.
So your face would be numb. But so cocaine led to heroin, and that's I believe when the problems began, because we had reached the ultimate pinnacle in drugs and cocaine and heroin, and so doing anything else was considered fair game, I guess. Although alcohol can do as much damage as heroin. Alcohol can do as much damage as cocaine.
Yeah.
But the drugs like marijuana and some of the pharmaceutical drugs, in my opinion, are much safer.
Yeah.
As long as you don't, do them in excess.
So did your pharmaceutical, the time you were doing the pharmaceuticals, did that escalate, like climb up the pill ladder or opiates?
Yeah, I think as is, even if you're doing pharmaceuticals legally, the more you do a pharmaceutical drug, the more resistance you get. The more resistance, the more it takes to reach that peak, to get that high, to get, to feel that euphoria. And getting back to the drug scene and why we do drugs, it's for many reasons, to escape pain, physical, psychological, mental, spiritual pain, over time, you need more. You need more, to numb out the pain.
Yep.
And
to not be sick, because your tolerance just gets higher. And then my experience was I had to use to not get dope sick, to not get sick.
It becomes a problem. I'd say it probably took, it happens very quickly. 10 days, 2 weeks, you're hooked.
Yep.
When you wake up in the morning,
your body lets you know
you're gonna be anxious.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a little bit of something. Preferably what you were doing the night before, but you're gonna need a little something.
Yeah.
And pharmaceuticals are pharmaceuticals for one reason, and they're the government regulates them because they are so damn good and so damn pure. And
so what does today look like for you, like nowadays? Like, what are you seeing out there?
Today, last night, I don't even really drink anymore. Not that I had a problem with alcohol. It just became it became expensive. And it's very obvious when you are for me to catch a buzz on alcohol because of my genetics and my lineage. I'm English and Irish. I have to drink a lot.
Oh wow.
We have bad eyes and bad teeth, but we have great livers.
Yeah.
So we can drink.
Gotcha.
And so that I guess that became a problem in that I couldn't hide alcohol from my parents. I couldn't hide it from the law. I couldn't hide it from my teachers because of the smell.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why I phased out alcohol. I do enjoy, and alcohol is considered to be among society. It's considered to be the number one drug.
Yeah.
And it's still king. Alcohol is still king. As you very well know, it's very easy to spend $100 in an evening on alcohol, where it's very difficult to spend that much on drugs.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned something about your eye.
Yeah. Let me get into that a little bit. I managed to get through life unscathed by the law up until about 3 months ago.
Okay.
3 months ago, I was at Pima Community College, and I was tired, and it was a little cold out, and I needed to get some sleep, so I found a safe place at Pima Community College to get some rest. And I was woken up by Pima Community College police, and we're not into law enforcement out here. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Same here.
I respect the military. I don't respect law enforcement, and because of of how I grew up.
Sure.
But in any case, this fucking cop, made me his life's goal that day to make sure that he could, make my life as miserable as possible. Mm-hmm. In any case, I had 8 outstanding misdemeanor warrants. I had missed two court dates. So I had 8 misdemeanor warrants from failure to appear in court. And so I was in custody. It went before a judge. The prosecutor insisted upon incarcerating me at Pima County Jail because I had missed my court hearings in the past.
Oh,
and again, these are 8 misdemeanors, misdemeanor warrants for very nonviolent trespassing violations, trumped up shoplifting charges, just a bunch of trumped up charges. I'm not a violent man, and I follow the law as often as I can. That's one way you do not get arrested. In any case, the prosecutor succeeded in getting me incarcerated to make sure that I showed up for my court hearings. Mm-hmm. While I was in Pima County Jail, I got MRSA, or MRSA. And I guess it's a real problem at Pima County Jail, along with many other diseases, community problems that we live with today.
Yeah.
We live in a COVID society today, so you do have to protect yourself. We all know that. In any case,
did you say MRSA? Was it MRSA? Is that what you said?
MRSA.
Oh, okay.
MRSA.
What is MRSA?
MRSA is a surface bacteria or surface virus,
Mm-hmm.
and MRSA is almost flesh eating,
Okay.
and in that it can create and cause bad scarring and cause all kinds of problems, and it's very difficult to eradicate, to kill. And in any case, when I my short stint in jail at the age of 63, I'd never been in jail before. Um, yeah, the MRSA went to my eye and caused what are called corneal or the cornea
Mm-hmm.
ulcerations. Most of us know ulcers as being um, digestive holes in the stomach. These were holes on my eyeball.
Okay.
Yeah, the MRSA had weakened and had deteriorated the eyeball physically,
Oh wow.
and it was very painful. Couldn't open my eye, a lot of tearing,
Sure.
and I'm really angry about it.
Yeah.
Because bottom line is I lost the vision in my left eye.
Wow.
I am blind, blackout blind in my left eye.
And when did that start?
I'm sorry.
When did this take place? When did you go to jail?
Yeah, I contracted the MRSA when I was in jail
How long ago?
3 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they take you to see the nurse at all, or wasn't that bad yet?
That was the problem in our, unfortunately, in Pima County. They're understaffed in their medical department, and I was not.
Wow.
My problems with the MRSA while I was in jail, I was not given. It was not given proper attention,
Mm.
and because MRSA can be, it can be cured, with proper antibiotics, antivirals,
Yeah.
both surface and internal medications. And unfortunately, due to their understaffing at Pima County Jail,
Mm-hmm.
I was not sent there in time, and the MRSA consequently blinded my left eye.
Wow.
And that's a real bummer to me because I had been making plans to go back to work, getting off the streets, going back to work, rehabilitating, which would be my second rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And now I have a lot of resentment, and I've lost the most important thing there is, to me today, which is my sight.
Have you gone to the ER?
I'm sorry?
Have you gone to St. Mary's?
Yeah. What happened was I eventually did make it. They had a nurse that did see how serious the eye was.
Yeah.
I was sent to Banner Hospital here in Tucson, which is at the University Medical Center, and I was in surgery within 48 hours.
Okay.
So they wanted to save the integrity of the eyeball itself, and they, I got into surgery as soon as possible, where they did a corneal transplant. And but again, unfortunately, the MRSA had done so much damage to the eye that I lost my sight.
Okay.
And again, I have a lot of resentment with that. I'm going to be seeking legal counsel, so nobody else has to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to lose your sight over trumped up misdemeanors. You shouldn't have to go to jail
Yeah.
with misdemeanors.
So
Uh,
what is that pain feel like? Is it like a sharp pain, or like does it throb? Like what does that feel like?
what I live with today, and again, we're in the healing stages, but I never will get my sight back.
Damn.
I'm probably going to have to go through any number of surgeries. Thank God that um, they are coming up with many new techniques, and
Sure.
some have been successful in getting sight back.
Mhm.
Recently, there was a woman who underwent surgery who was born without sight. She went into surgery in her 20s,
Mhm.
and modern medicine was able to give her sight back.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping with new techniques and with the acceleration of new procedures that I can get my sight back, and but I'm running out of time. I'm 63 years old,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, sooner the better. Sooner the better, man. That way you know. Do you know what care your eye needs? Like, do you know
yeah.
what they'll do? Like, what's the next step as far as like care for your eye?
Yeah, I need to. I'm going to go back in the Banner. I have to go to the optometry department and
Yeah.
seek uh, their help. It's going to be a long process. They really don't know yet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my eye um is probably going to be in the experimental stage. I'm kind of in the experimental stage right now.
Sure. Sure.
Um, yeah, Banner Main Hospital here in Tucson is a fantastic hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had half a dozen doctors, and
Yeah.
they all have different specialties, but so I'm not quite sure who is in charge. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make a note to self to give them a call as soon as this
Sure.
interview is over. So thank you.
Of course. Do you need me to take you in
I'm
anywhere?
sorry.
Do you want me to take you to the hospital to get that started, or
Uh, yeah, I can use your phone.
okay?
It probably won't do any good to go there, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
to make an
Just set up
appointment
an
would be
appointment.
very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I can get you any phone numbers you need
Thank you.
to.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
if you ever need a ride, I'll give you my phone number.
Right on, man.
Just whenever you're set.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
very
live
generous of you.
I live
And
just down the street, so yeah, just won't be a
and
problem.
again, I want to get back. I want to get to the point to where I can be independent again myself.
There you go.
Just to give you a little bit of my background, after my college career, my athletic career in college, and I went on to the 1984 Olympics
Wow.
and wrestled and did quite well. I got a bronze medal in the '84 Olympics,
Oh wow.
and um, but freestyle wrestling is not a pro sport. It's a
Yeah.
very difficult sport.
Yeah, I did freestyle and Greco. Yeah.
Greco-Roman.
Furthest I ever went was a tournament in Las Vegas. And I love freestyle wrestling, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just love watching the Olympics,
A lot of
collegiate
throws.
wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of throws, a lot
Love
of
it, man.
takedowns.
There's no sport like it. It's
Yeah,
just,
I can honestly say I was one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world at one time.
what was your weight class?
132,
32. Yeah.
132, 138.
That weight class is always stacked.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of studs in there, man.
You know what the weight loss is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played football at 165, 170, and I wrestle at 132.
Wow.
And then that's what got me into triathlon. I have a triathlon career too. But I've done 68 triathlons,
Sure.
and 4 of those are Ironmans.
Yeah.
And Ironman's a 4.5 mile open water swim in the ocean, followed by a 126 mile bike ride and then a marathon.
Wow.
And I want to
That's
I want to
tough.
do one more. I'm going to start training for that. Well, I've been training for it, but
Sure.
I want to start training for that seriously here in the next couple of months. And again, this will be a problem, and that's part of my rehabilitation and getting off drugs.
Yeah, just try and preserve that wound, as soon as you can. Just make sure you make the calls, set something up,
Mhm.
that way you can preserve it and
Yeah, I do have some antibiotics that I have to go pick up that I've been
keep that clean.
yeah.
Warm heat compresses.
Yeah,
Keep the area clean.
warm compresses. Just keeping it clean, keeping the
Sure.
hygiene of the eye,
Yeah.
and the eye integrity up is very important.
Yeah.
And that started to get worse yesterday. So,
Yeah.
getting a lot of
So, in
mucus buildup.
regards to my last question, in regards to today, like what does a day in the life look like for you?
Well, a day in the life, unfortunately, in reality, is I get up in the morning. If I haven't secured my drugs for the next day, uh, my next morning is very difficult. So what I try to do is the night before. Uh, Here in Tucson, blues, beans is what we call them on the street. It's fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
Fentanyl is uh, can be taken three different ways: snorted, eaten, digested, or smoked. My preference is to smoke it. Just probably 95% of the people out here smoke blues, beans, fentanyl.
Yeah.
Um, it's got a very distinct smell, taste, uh, and it's very addicting. I think there's a romance that has established between society and this new drug, fentanyl, because it's not only do we seek the drug and the high that the drug produces, there's kind of a romance between because to enjoy the drug the way I do, not only do you have to procure the drug or go get the drug, you have to get the foil. Okay, you have to have good foil. I'm sorry, but this is a tutor. This is just a straw.
I used to smoke heroin back in the day, so that
Mhm.
was the exact straw I used.
Yeah.
That I always carried a roll of foil under my passenger seat
Right,
and a lighter, and
right.
that was my deal, man.
And that's one thing we do out here is we go through a lot of foil, a lot of tutors, and a lot of lighters. You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And there's the romance is that part of the addiction is to chase, in my opinion, is to chasing down the foil at the store, you know. Uh,
Finding a bathroom to smoke in,
right,
or
right.
just that whole
Finding
routine,
privacy so
the
you
whole
can toke your foil.
yep,
Man.
the whole ritual of it. I was
And
in
it's
love
not
with it.
like
Yeah.
we're fooling anybody either,
Yeah.
you know, because of the smell and the sound. It's pretty distinctive.
Yeah.
You know, it's not funny. It's really actually kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
I was going to a friend's house the other day, and I was outside the damn door of his apartment, and all you could hear was the popping of lighters, you know, because there were close to half a dozen people in there getting high.
Oh, okay.
And you're
The
outside
flicking.
the door and you hear the clicking of the
Yep.
lighters,
Yep.
through the door. And it's just like, man, aren't we? Isn't this obvious? I mean,
Does it feel?
we're gonna
What
get
is?
busted, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get busted. We're gonna have problems with law enforcement.
What is the feeling of the fentanyl? I've never done the blues nowadays, but Like nowadays, they look like the old 30 milligram Percocets, like the blues.
Well, actually, they're 30 milligram oxy. They model them after the 30 milligram oxycodone.
Mm-hmm. The
Uh,
M30s.
yeah,
Yeah, M30s.
yeah, that
Those are the
was
ones I used to do. I used to wake up.
McClintock Company.
McClintock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's a pharmaceutical company that makes oxycodone 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, people. Uh, they're not Percocets. Percocet is made by a totally different company.
Mm-hmm.
Percocet has got acetaminophen in it, which is Tylenol,
Mm-hmm.
and Percocet comes in 2 milligrams, 5 milligrams, and then extra strength 7.5 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, unfortunately, and you're right. I mean, people. I've heard them called perks.
Perks. Yeah.
Percocet perks
Yeah.
out here on the street, and that's just people not knowing their pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
But yeah, the illegal market of fentanyl, blues, beans have modeled um, their baby after the 30 milligram oxycodone,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that because again I'm a triathlete. I came off a bicycle in San Francisco in the Alcatraz triathlon and broke my sacrum, fractured my sacrum, my L4-5-6 lumbar. So I was on oxycodone and morphine sulfate,
Okay.
which is very important that we go into this a little bit too.
There you go.
Um, uh, yeah, I suffered an injury about 12 years ago in San Francisco, and uh, being a drug seeker, I took full advantage of it, and I found myself a feel-good doctor who gave me as much oxycodone and morphine sulfate as I could possibly do for 6 years,
Wow.
and that's probably what got me in. It's definitely what got me into smoking blues, fentanyl. Yeah, I was totally hooked on opiates, um, like yourself. Um, heroin is still the ultimate. Morphine is the ultimate opiate,
Mm-hmm.
but morphine and heroin are brother and sister,
Mm-hmm.
and um, you know. They call it chasing the dragon,
Yep.
and
Chasing
we
the
can
dragon.
only get that high once a day, and what we do the rest of the day is we chase that dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and that dragon is this mysterious creature which we refer to as our ultimate euphoric high. And my experience has been is that can only be achieved once a day, you know and after we achieve that, psychologically, physically, mentally, um, we don't want to lose it because it has just this beautiful feeling
It
to it.
is. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. There's no feeling like it.
Hmm.
Nothing should feel that good.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
hate to say it, but it's better than sex. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, there is no feeling like it, and that's what we call. There's an old term called chasing the dragon that junkies used to do, and the dragon is that mysterious high that we achieve, once a day, uh, due to not having a whole lot of morphine or heroin in our system, and therefore
Yeah.
we can reach this peak euphoric high. And my experience has been, you're not going to have it again for another at least 24 hours. And all of us junkies know what that is. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's so dangerous about drugs. That's why people OD. That's why people die. Is
Mm-hmm.
they want to feel that feeling of just total euphoria, total numbness. Just it's a pathetically, it is a beautiful feeling that should be illegal because
Mm-hmm.
uh, we're going to try to reach it every day, and that that is what's killing our kids. That's what's killing our people on the street is chasing a dragon and reaching that euphoric pinnacle that we want to have every day, and that's what makes the damn drugs so damn dangerous. Is that there's a delicate line between reaching that euphoria and reaching your death. And you know this as well as I do.
Yeah.
Um, it's you're all of us are just 1 milligram, are just one breath, are just one little tiny bit of drug away from euphoria or overdosing and dying. And we do have a lot of that out here.
So true.
And yeah, through the years I've lost a dozen friends.
Yeah.
These are all beautiful people that shouldn't have lost their lives,
Yeah.
who didn't rehabilitate themselves for one reason or another, whose family and friends couldn't reach them. And, it's a great loss, man, especially in my case, man. I mean, most of these people were, had beautiful smiles, had beautiful families. They had futures, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's these goddamn drugs that are taking their futures away.
Yep.
As much as we'd like to say, or all of us would like to experience, uh, being high, experiencing that fucking drug, fucking, um, we need to rehabilitate ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's my goal today. Is I'm going into detox in the next 48 hours,
Okay. Good.
and
Good.
I hope to God I make it.
You will.
Yeah.
If you go within that time, you will.
Yeah.
You will.
And yeah, fortunately, I've got the wherewithal, and I have a steady load of pretty good friends around me that aren't going to allow me to kill myself.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's what we do out here is we kill ourselves. Whether it's intentional or non-intentional, it happens. And I guess that's the bottom line of this story is getting rehabilitated and getting out there and getting clean and sober and having a productive life, having a productive family, and making sure the next generation doesn't get into this fucking bullshit, because it's a nowhere game, man.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that can handle it, that can, live with it, that can tolerate it. Over time, it's gonna. Bottom line, it's gonna bite you. It's gonna come back, and it's gonna hurt you one way or another. It's gonna take away your family, your friends, your bank account, your house, your car, your food money, your clothing money. Um, Bottom line is that none of us are good enough or strong enough to beat this thing
Yep.
by ourselves, man. So keep that in mind.
All
Thanks
right,
for the
man.
interview.
I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time. Thank
right
you.
on. Thank you.